Hi, my name is Steve Rice. I'm 39 years old and I'm from Connecticut. I want to be part of this season's From the Ground Up project because, well, honestly, it's just such a really cool project. I came across it a couple weeks ago, and just the idea, the concept of bringing, entry-level riders up to take on the Leadville Trail 100. It's just a crazy, daunting challenge, and it seems just awesome. So I have to apply. I may not be your typical applicant because I have a little bit of riding experience. I grew up riding mountain bikes, and around the neighborhood, that's how we get around town. That's how we get to our friend's house and whatnot. So from the early years, in middle school, we used to ride all the time, and we were fortunate enough to have some trails nearby so we can go ride off-road. And then a small group of us ended up, competing in those local cross-country mountain bike races that started popping up everywhere in the late 90s. So for a few years through middle school, myself and a bunch of our friends would be riding all the time. Then high school came and we kind of really stopped riding and didn't have time, and then kind of fell off for quite a bit. And then fast forward 20 years later, I've barely been on the trails. So about last year I started kind of rekindling that passion and love for getting back on the trails. So I saw this, I'm like, you know what, this is an amazing opportunity. I can't pass up. So I figured, even though I've got a little bit of riding experience under my belt, I figured I gotta throw an application in and see what happens. Okay, so let's get into some of the questions here. First question is, what is your spirit animal? I would have to say that my spirit animal is a hippo. They're kind of surprising in a lot of different ways, where they're a big beast of an animal, but they actually can move pretty quick. They're good swimmers, they're pretty capable running on land, and actually can reach speeds of up to almost 30 miles an hour. And in the water, they're surprisingly agile. And I kind of relate to that because I'm a big guy, 6'1", 255 pounds. So but I can move. I can move pretty quickly, mostly downhill, but I relate to them in a lot of different ways because they're kind of sneaky, and their size is kind of misleading. So I would have to say the hippo would be my spirit animal. Okay, so next question is, what is the biggest accomplishment of your life to date? For me, I'd have to say it was last year. I completed a half Ironman, the Musselman 70.3 in Geneva, New York. Hands down the hardest physical challenge I'd ever taken on and completed. So that was by far my biggest accomplishment, and I think it really is my biggest accomplishment because prior to that, I'm not a big runner. I'm 6'1", 255. I hate really running. I enjoy cycling. Swimming was a challenge for me. I really didn't know how to swim. I grew up being functional in a pool, but never actually swimming for workouts or distance. So that was probably the hardest thing, is I had to teach myself how to swim, looking up research online and YouTube videos, and just figuring out how to actually do it and do it effectively and efficiently. So after several months in the pool and logging those hours, things eventually started to click. So that was a big piece of it, having to conquer that challenge of not being able to swim. The other part of it would be that the amount of effort and dedication it took to accomplish that. It was a lot. And again, for me as a bigger, heavier guy, that was quite a challenge. And it was a lot of time getting up early and hitting the gym, getting on the bike, and just putting in the hours, because this race was a big, scary race. You can't fake it. You show up to a sprint triathlon, you can pretty much wing it, but a half Ironman, there's no way. If you want to be able to complete that and do that, you got to put in the time. And for me, my goal was just to finish it. Course cutoff was 8 hours and 30 minutes, and I barely squeaked in under there with 8 hours and 12 minutes, but I completed it and was a finisher. So that would definitely be my biggest accomplishment because of the amount of work and effort and dedication I had to go into just getting me to that starting line. So that would be it for me. Okay, so next question. Why do you want to take on the Leadville Trail 100? So I think for me, it's about taking on new challenges, physically, mentally, just pushing myself farther than I think that I could go. I learned some lessons in training for the 70.3 that you can accomplish way more than you think you can when you start out. So just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I think that's where I want to push myself and seek out new adventures. I also started last year dabbling in adventure racing, where once again you're pushing yourself. Maybe 24-hour events where you're mountain biking and paddling and hiking. It's just something I'm trying to get outside my comfort zone and push myself. And I think that's why the Leadville race is so appealing to me. I mean, it's something that just being able to compete it alone is cool, and it's something to take pride in. Let alone finish it. I mean, that's a whole nother level. I've never ridden 100 miles before in my life, let alone on a trail, climbing over mountains. So I mean, that's just a crazy, scary goal, and that's kind of why I want to do it, is because it is so crazy and scary that it forces you to kind of get outside your comfort zone and push yourself. And so that's why I want to try and take something like this on. So hopefully I'll get the opportunity to. Okay. All right. Final question. What is it going to take for you to finish? I think for me to finish, the biggest thing that I'm actually most excited about being part of this project is the sense of community and support from Alexi and Ryan, as well as the Wahoo team, and having science-driven training metrics there and helping you, put you in a position to succeed. You know, I think as I've kind of started down this path and dipped my toe into ultra endurance races over the past year, I'm kind of fumbling around in the dark, trying to figure out what's what and how to do it better. And I don't fully understand a lot of the science around training and metrics and zone training and heart rates and training with power. I'm still trying to figure all that out and how it all can relate to me. So I think for me, it's the sense of community and support, and having people that have been down that path and understand that and can help you design and train more effectively and efficiently. And every person's different. So train the right ways for you to be effective. And basically just have a team and support, that sense of camaraderie, I think is huge. Even though I've done a little bit of the triathlon stuff, it's all individual. Last year, as I started getting into some of the adventure racing, that's with a team. And so you all do that together. It's not a relay. Everyone's there shoulder to shoulder, and there's times when you're at your lowest and your teammates are picking you up and vice versa. And you want to keep pushing on because you know people are counting on you. And though it's that sense of accountability and that teamwork, and that camaraderie, that you've got people in the foxhole with you that want to push you, want to help you, and do what it takes to put you in a position to succeed. And that's what I'm actually most excited about, is being part of this project, having access to such a wealth of knowledge from people, from professional cyclists and professional trainers and people who design programs at Wahoo. Like that's the biggest thing for me, is how to do that better, and just be part of a whole community that's trying to part of a community here that's trying to accomplish some really cool things. And so I think that's pretty much it. Again, I hope I would get an opportunity to take part in this project. Again, I may not be your typical entry-level rider, since I've kind of grew up with a little bit of mountain biking, kind of stepped away for about 20 years and then started to dabble into more cycling in the last couple of years. But maybe I'll just be, hopefully I'm what you guys are looking for, and love the opportunity to take part in this project and take part in this race. It'd be amazing. So thanks.